I know Chigs is in here recording this.
No Chid Smooth in here, right? So whatever you say,
you know Chid gonna have everything up there.
Whatever you say, Chid's gonna be on YouTube with it, man.
Spotify has responded to Drake and his petitions in court, claiming that UMG and Spotify were working together to push Kendrick against Drake. According to Billboard, Spotify's lawyers filed a motion to completely dismiss this case, calling it far-fetched. Spotify will also criticize Drake for the way he brought those claims to court, because it wasn't a full lawsuit, but a pre-action petition, trying to get information so that they can file a lawsuit. Spotify's lawyers claim that this route was taken because their actual claims are too flimsy to stand up to an actual lawsuit. And then they will break down what they do to punish or fight against botting on their platform. What's up, y'all? It's your man Talkless World reporting for the Chick Smooth channel. We gotta talk about this. According to Billboard, Spotify responds to Drake's UMG legal action, blasting false claims and demanding dismissal. The new filing is the first response to a petition filed last month in which Drake accused UMG and Spotify of an illegal, quote, scheme involving bots, payola, and other methods to pump up Kendrick Lamar's song, a track that savagely attacked Drake amid an ongoing feud between the two stars. In a motion filed Friday in Manhattan court, the streaming giant says it has found zero evidence to support the claims of a bot attack, and flatly denies that it struck any deal with UMG to support Lamar's song. Spotify's lawyers say, quote, "The predicate of the petitioner's entire request for discovery from Spotify is false." The company's lawyers write, quote, "Spotify and UMG have never had any such agreement." And the article will continue, "Beyond denying the allegations, the filing repeatedly criticizes Drake for going to court in the first place, calling his claims of a conspiracy, quote, far-fetched and, quote, speculative, and questioning why Spotify, a, quote, stranger to the long-running feud between Drake and Kendrick and UMG, is involved. Spotify is saying, if your problem is with Kendrick and UMG, leave us out of it. Spotify also criticizes Drake for the way in which he brought his claims to court, not as a full-fledged lawsuit, but as an unusual pre-action petition aimed at demanding information. The company accused Drake of using that, quote, extraordinary procedure because his allegations are too flimsy to pass muster in an actual lawsuit and would have been quickly dismissed. Spotify's lawyers say, quote, "What petitioner is seeking to do here is to bypass the normal pleading requirements and obtain, by way of pre-action discovery, that which it would only be entitled to seek were it to survive a motion to dismiss." Spotify's lawyers write, "This subversion of normal judicial process should be rejected." Spotify is saying, if you have any evidence of wrongdoing, sue us fully. Don't just do pre-action motions, because that route goes through less scrutiny than an actual lawsuit. A spokesperson for Drake and his legal team did not immediately return a request for comment on Spotify's filings. And since the filings were made this morning, we'll keep an eye out for that response from Drake's team. But as Billboard will continue, Drake went to court last month accusing UMG of violating the Racketeer, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act, the federal RICO statute often used against organized crime. He accused Spotify of participating in the scheme by charging reduced licensing fees in exchange for recommending the song to users. A day later, he filed a similar action in Texas, suggesting that UMG had legally defamed him by releasing a song that, quote, falsely accused him of being a sex offender. The legal actions represent a remarkable twist in the high-profile beef between the two stars, which saw Drake and Kendrick exchange stinging diss tracks over a period of months earlier this year. That a rapper would take such a dispute to court seemed almost unthinkable at the time, and Drake has been ridiculed in some corners of the hip-hop world for doing so. The actions also represent a stunning rift between Drake and UMG, where the star has spent his entire career, first through signing a deal with Lil Wayne's Young Money imprint, which was distributed by Republic Records, then by signing directly to Republic. UMG has not yet filed a response to the litigation in court, but in a statement issued at the time, the music giant called Drake's allegations, quote, offensive and untrue. No amount of contrived and absurd legal arguments in this pre-action submission can mask the fact that fans choose the music they want to hear. Is that last part true? Do you pick what songs you listen to? Or do you just pick a playlist that's already prominent on Spotify to play songs for you? Let me know in the comment section. As they continue, in Friday's filing, Spotify echoed the criticisms, arguing that civil RICO cases are difficult to prove even with ample evidence, and that Drake hardly has any. Quote, the petition asserts no specific facts of any kind in support of these alleged RICO and deceptive practices violations. Quote, instead, it relies exclusively on speculation or the claims of anonymous individuals on the internet. And then Spotify will talk about how they combat botting. Quote, Spotify's attorneys seemed particularly focused on disputing the idea that swarms of bots had been able to flood the platform to fraudulently boost Kendrick's track, a hot button issue in the modern music industry. In an affidavit attached to Friday's filing, Spotify's VP of Music offers sworn testimony that the company, quote, invests heavily in efforts to, quote, mitigate the impact of artificial streaming on our platform. Quote, when we identify attempted streaming manipulation, we take action that may include removing streaming numbers, withholding royalties, and charging penalty fees. David Kafer wrote in the filing, quote, confirmed and suspected artificial streams are also removed from our chart calculations. This helps us to protect the royalty payouts for honest, hardworking artists. Because Drake made the claim that UMG and Spotify were working together, Spotify was clearly gonna make a statement. Russ will see all this back and forth and break down the positions of everyone involved and how Spotify plays a major role in the music industry, but may not hold all the cards and have final say. As he would tweet, disclaimer, I love Spotify and I'm grateful for the platform that has connected my music with millions of fans worldwide, and this isn't about any label or artist in particular, more so just a system. Spotify knows who's faking the streams, lol. However, they're not gonna ever, in my opinion, publicly expose any major labels due to potential consequences. Major labels could retaliate by pulling their top artist music from Spotify. That would obviously diminish Spotify's value and attractiveness to subscribers. Spotify just punishes them behind the scenes, like removes fake streams and removing the songs from playlists, because they prioritize, which makes sense, maintaining their access to major label content over publicly confronting stream manipulation, which essentially makes them a, quote, hostage of the major labels. Basically, Spotify publicly outing major labels is a lose-lose for everyone involved. And he will continue, I know everyone loves to hate rich companies or rich anything, but to be honest, in this situation, Spotify is low-key the victim being held hostage by major labels. That would make sense if the major labels didn't also own a percentage of all the DSPs. So it's more of a partnership than one side being held hostage by the other. But what do you think about the situation? Whose side are you on? Let me know in the comment section. Peace.